Good afternoon, pepper lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Growing with Isotope. And you might be wondering, why has your set changed again? And the answer is because I've moved house. Now it makes sense why I haven't uploaded a video in about 3 months, and that's because we've been deep in the house moving process. We only literally moved a 5-minute walk up the road from where we were before, but that means that we're closer to the allotment, we've got a bigger garden, we've got much more potential for just life in general, really. We've got parking spaces, we've got a conservatory. It's a much nicer house than we were in before. It feels great, to be honest. The house move itself didn't really go that well. Our buyer turned into a bit of an asshole right at the end, so that just added a load of stress to us. But other than that, we're all moved. All of our stuff is still in the garage. We're having a lot of construction work done. But yeah, hopefully that work will be done within the next few weeks, and I can do a proper sort of house tour, because we've been decorating and we've made the house look really nice so far. So it'd be good to show that off. But for now, we're just gonna have to put up with a little small garden tour. But anyway, I'll hand you over to our guinea pigs with a special word from them.
Oh, Bowie? Do you want to be on video, Bowie? Hello? Yeah. You're very handsome. Oh, and so are you, Dump. Just a little scratch on the head. No. What about you? No. What do you want?
Right, so this is the interview, Dan. What do you have to say for yourself? What about you, Bear?
What are you saying? You want some grass? Do you want some grass? Do you want some grass? Some grass?
Do you want some grass?
Thanks, Dump.
What about you, Bowie?
Do you want some grass, Bowie?
Do you want some grass?
Cut the interview, they're fighting.
They're fighting. So, I thought I'd start by having a little look in the polytunnel. Down here, I've got my Pimenta Barra de Ribeiro, which I'm very excited to taste again this year. It's like a nice ripe little pod in there. Excellent. And then, yeah, there's more ripening up in the back. Plenty of flowers. I think the pot's a bit light. Yeah, could do with some more. So. But I suppose the star of the show then, these variegated sugarrush stripies. These are M5s, and I've been very careful to select plants which look the part. And they've been here in this new polytunnel at the allotment, and they've been having some extreme conditions in here. It's been getting up to mid-40s in here during the day, and they have not struggled with it whatsoever. You can see the odd sort of dead leaf, but that's nothing major. You know, we're not getting that crispy leaf problem, which I was really worried was a response to sunlight, but it doesn't look like that's the case at all. It looks like, I don't know, it's inconclusive on why that happens to some of them. You can see here, some of them have tried to put out sort of green foliage, and for the most part I've been trying to chop that back. But for a couple of the plants in here, I've kind of let it go, just to see what happens. And the answer is quite surprising. Because you can see this branch here, it was green, but it's put out some new variegated foliage right at the top. And I think that, you know, if multiple branches start to do that, I might rethink my guidance on what to do with green branches. But I think my guidance for now is just going to be to remove them. And you don't want to select pods from those branches. You want to select pods from the really variegated foliage, like this one here. You can see that's attached to pure variegated foliage in there. You can see some crispy leaves. Again, nothing to worry about. See quite a lot of pods in there actually. So yeah, I'll be selecting seeds from those, and they'll be going on my store at the end of the year. All in all, they've done very well. You can see actually we've got quite a range of colours. I'm not sure whether this is because of environmental conditions or what, but this one kind of almost looks yellow with peach stripes. Doesn't help that the variety itself was unstable when I tried to stabilise it. You know, trying to stabilise the foliage and the pods themselves aren't stable. This here is my chocolate primatale. You can see we've got a couple of fruits coming in. Sorry, I don't think it's actually a chocolate primatale, I think it's a golden primatale. Very interested to taste them. But yeah, these plants in here just need loads of water. I'm coming up sort of twice a day to water things, which isn't ideal, but it does help to be a bit closer to the allotment now. And you can see there, all of these plants are just doing fantastic. Lovely foliage. Such strong plants, absolutely covered in pods. I've already done a harvest of about 10 pods off of these. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how these are going. Really, really happy. You can see it's not all good news there. We've had probably the driest summer on record. I think they'll come out and say that at some point, and it is true. We've had no rain for at least a month now. Watering is very taxing, coming up here twice a day, so the potatoes have been struggling, but the rest of the plot has been quite happy. So we'll start at the back here. This plant here is a goat's weed. You can sort of see that really hairy foliage, which they're known for. Look at that, so hairy. I'm not sure that the camera is going to really do it justice, but yeah, that is quite impressive. Yeah, there's a great deal of pods coming through. I need to do better support for this plant, I really do, but it's doing fine as it is. Now this one, the Kabai Barang Ungu, was just a wee baby plant in the last video, but it's doing much better now. It took a while for it to establish in the big pot, but it's flowering now. Hopefully in time for the end of the season. It is only the middle of July. And yeah, Capsicum rhomboideum. Lots and lots of flowers, as per usual for this variety, for this species, but not a great deal of pod set just yet. Really hoping for some pods with some seeds in, because last year this plant betrayed me a little bit, and there were many hundreds of seedless pods, but it looks like it might do something this year at least. I know that fennel is mildly allelopathic, which means that it produces a chemical which kills other plants which are growing in the same sort of proximity to it, but it doesn't really seem to be affecting it. I might have to pull the fennel out though if I do notice some symptoms. But you can see the growth looks really good. Really strong. And over here is a new one for me. I think I showed it off actually in earlier videos. It's cold hardy, it's Capsicum flexuosum. It's looking a lot healthier than it has done, that's for sure. In previous videos it was kind of like a little twig, and it still kind of is a bit twiggy, but it's at least having another go. And that branch in there, this one, that's a completely new branch, so that's new good foliage on that. I'm hoping that I can bring that into some form of protection over the winter. And this plant here is another one that I'm really excited to sort of get some seeds from, and that is Capsicum recurvatum. supposed to be a red flower, but it's kind of halfway between red and yellow. So I'm guessing it might be a cross between the red and yellow flower variants. Pretty cool. And over here, of course, the beautiful, absolutely just perfect in every way, Capsicum rabini. And I've been harvesting loads and loads and loads of pods off of this plant. It's been a machine. It has not stopped producing. It knows no bounds. It's had no feed. It's just going and going and going. It's been the healthiest plant I've grown this year by a country mile. So I'm definitely going to overwinter this one and grow it next year, and I would recommend anyone in a similar climate to me to pick up some seeds from my shop, because you can't really beat that. These flowers are really, 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 really gorgeous. And what else do I have out here? I've got some more variegated sugar stropies. These ones were kind of left outside, not to rot, but because they're doing rather well, but they're not doing as well as the one inside. And actually this one is kind of dominated with the green apical dominance, which I mentioned on my website in the article. It does happen if you let them get out of control. You see this green branch is going to do the exact same thing. It's just going to take over, and then all that variegated foliage will be left behind, and that is not what you want when you grow these. But I'm going to have enough sort of pods off of plants which don't produce green branches to be able to supply you all with them, and I'm going to release kind of like an instruction manual on how to grow them as well. So yeah, let's go around the other side. So this plant, I have to talk about it, is the Naga corica. I have talked about this in previous videos in this series, and that's because it is advertised as Capsicum chinense, over 1 million Scoville heat units, and it is clearly, you can see clearly from these flowers that is not Capsicum chinense. See, there's no annular constriction there in those flowers, and there are only one flower per node. So I believe it's either Capsicum annuum or Capsicum frutescens. And really, looking at the calyx on these, it could be either. I'm not definitely sure either way. It does kind of have a cupped calyx, like Capsicum frutescens would have, but that calyx isn't diagnostic at all. It could still be Capsicum annuum. What I'm really looking for is nodes which have multiple flowers. That would be the diagnostic test to see whether this is Capsicum frutescens, and I'm not seeing any nodes with more than one flower. So for now, it's Capsicum annuum. But it is an absolutely gorgeous plant. There's going to be so many pods off of it. Really looking forward to trying them properly on camera. I mean, look at that. Can't beat that, can you? And this plant here is the blot bell. It looked like a weedy little plant for a long time, looked like it was going to die, but it's really split off now. It is really determined to give me a lot of pods, and there is actually one huge pod on the other side of this plant. Just about to see it in there. That is a massive pod. I think we'll be able to get some seeds out of that. And over here is the Tweety pepper. Lovely plant, absolutely lovely plant. Needs some feed now. You can see the leaves are starting to perhaps yellow a little bit at the top. But it's very ambitious, lots of flowers. They're a sweet pepper, so the boys can eat that. Really good, no complaints from me. And what else am I growing? Most of this really is Turk's turban squash, which was some seeds that I got from Red Dragon Seeds. And you can see I've got a few already growing. I think there's sort of 3, 4, maybe even 5 at this point. Keeping them watered is a big struggle, big challenge. Something that I should probably point out that I've discovered this year is, you can probably see it already, this is a Riccotto Canario, not John Booth's variegated Riccotto. But what this one's done is it's sort of sent out this very variegated looking branch. You can see down there, variegated leaf, more variegated leaves. This plant is going to die if I don't water it like every day, because it's just not getting enough water. But I am very interested to see what happens to this variegated branch. I might tie off those flowers and isolate them. Yes, what I also have in here are some purple tomatillos, and they've yet to really produce anything for me yet. There's a few tomatillos growing, but nothing major. Lots of flowers. You can see that is how much water we're working with up here. It's really not much. See, actually there, that might be a ripe tomatillo. Might be an overripe tomatillo actually, by the look of it. Really not sure when to harvest them. This isn't bindweed. It is a sweet potato, and that is a cabbage in there as well. And these are my onions. They look very sad, but they are bulbing up, so that's something, I guess. Should we have a look at the more depressing side of the allotment? This is a bit of a state. Basically, during the house move, I dragged everything up here, put it in this tray, and I've lost quite a few things that I really shouldn't really be affording to lose. But there is always next year, and whatever I can overwinter, I will absolutely try and keep going. Mostly my super hots here, which is a great shame. It means I won't be trying any super hots this year. Truly a tragedy, I know. But some of these are savable. You know, if I splash a bit of water on them, they'll probably bounce back. But a lot of them will be dead. And that is a great shame. Right. New garden just dropped. So you can see here, I've got my Ahi Trinity F3s. These are recently transplanted from a hydroponic system. And they're doing remarkably well considering the conditions that they're living in. Also, don't mind the scaffolding. We've had to fix the roof immediately on moving in. It's been up for over a month already. I'm sick of it. Yeah, these plants are looking fairly healthy. In fact, this one's even starting to pod up, which is great. See, we've got a conservatory. Feel a bit more fancy now. These are actually kale plants, I think, that decided to go to seed. And we've got our herbs from the old garden. Again, everything's just kind of just in disarray at the moment because of the move. Once the scaffolding's down, we can start to really rejig the garden a bit, but for now it's just dumped. And we've got our lemon balm, orange balm, chives. That, I believe, is an Ahi Fantasy Stripey straddling on. Very good sage. We kept the rosemary. We kept our Christmas tree. Barbarous Antipodes. It's a very, very ambitious plant. You can see I've got one ripe one in there. I'm probably going to be trying soon. Should probably try it sooner rather than later. Rhubarb and strawberries. Two very large aubergine plants. Very good. I've had one already. It's very nice. Bit of lavender. On your sun loungers. Iced Guyana harvest. And that's the garden. It's tree mallow, I believe. Also, we've got our own tree. Look at that, it's a weeping birch. You can see I've already got started on the greenhouse base. Putting a 6x10 greenhouse in there. So I'll kind of upgrade my growing a little bit. A temporary makeshift compost pile before we can get a proper compost bin in. And we've also got 3 ponds. Ponds which are currently full of debris from having these trees taken out. Very nice ponds though. This garden's going to be amazing once it's done. There is a 3rd pond in there. It is buried. And all over the garden while we're trying to clear it out, we found these massive pots. Just huge clay pots. Unfortunately they're all kind of broken because the ivy just burst through it. We've had to get rid of a load of ivy as well. I repainted this shed. That's pretty much one of the first things I did when I moved in here. Couldn't stand the sight of all the rust. So I kind of did it up a little bit. See in there, that's where we're going to be keeping all of our equipment for growing. It's basically just going to be my shed for all the pepper pots and things like that. So that'll be good. One thing we're going to have to keep a good eye on is this bamboo. Yes, it is. Invasive bamboo at that as well. In fact, down here you can see it's growing up through the patio, which is not good because that way is the conservatory. It's just a never-ending list of things to do in this house. It really is. Don't get me wrong though, we're so happy with it. It is a gorgeous little garden. Lovely tree. Got a vision for it and it's coming together. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. Thank you very much for watching everyone. And I'll see you in the next one.